Thanksgiving mornings in my childhood home had their own kind of magic. Before the sun even thought about rising, the house was already awake. The air smelled like tradition, turkey drifting in from the oven, corn simmering on the stove, potatoes softening in a big silver pot, dinner rolls resting under a warm towel. Those smells were the language of the day before anyone even said a word. And then there was my part of the tradition, my one request every single year: pistachio pudding, this bright neon green bowl of ooze, because I was obsessed with the Ninja Turtles. Still am, admittedly. My family could have laughed it off, but they didn't. Every Thanksgiving, that little green bowl showed up right next to the turkey like it belonged there, like it was part of the starting lineup. It's funny looking back now, how something so small can stay with you. The comfort, the chaos, the noise in the kitchen, the little traditions nobody else would understand. That was Thanksgiving, and in its own way, that was connection, that was family. And honestly, it's a big part of why I love basketball. It's why I love doing this show. It's the same feeling. People gathering around something we all understand, even when life is loud. So even in a slower NBA week, the gratitude doesn't slow down. The community doesn't slow down. The grind certainly doesn't slow down. Wherever you are this morning, at work, on the road, or hiding from that one family member who never takes a hint, this right here is our table. And I'm glad you're here, sitting at it, right alongside with me. Thanksgiving week does something funny to the NBA calendar. It doesn't stop because the NBA never really stops, but it definitely changes tempo. Games spread out, practice schedules loosen, travel gets weird, and even though it looks like everything slows down, the league is still moving under the surface. And honestly, these are the weeks I love, because when the noise drops a little bit, you can hear what teams are really saying through their play. Let's start with something simple: identity. You can already see it. The teams that know who they are barely flinching during a slow week. They play the same way whether they've got 3 games or 1. They've built habits. They've built trust. They've built structure. And then you've got the teams still holding auditions. You can feel it in their rotations. One night the rookies get run, the next night they get yanked. One night they look connected, the next they look like 5 guys who met in the parking lot. These slow weeks are where the cracks start to show. The teams without a clear offensive direction, they begin to drift. The teams without a defensive identity get caught ball watching. You see players hesitating instead of reacting. Those are the signs you only notice when the schedule thins out and the spotlight isn't bouncing all over the league. And the teams that are connected, they look steady, like they're just waiting for December to start so they can step on the gas. Another thing pops during Thanksgiving week. It's the difference between seasoned vets and young stars. Veterans use this week almost like a mini all-star break. It's not official, but you can see it. Their minutes are smoother. Their shot selection gets smarter. They find that rhythm they've been trying to dial up since opening night. They've lived this part of the calendar before. They know how their bodies respond this time of year. They know how to conserve what matters. But the younger guys, you can see which ones are discovering the weight of an NBA schedule for the first time. They start feeling the flight legs. They start feeling the back-to-back nights. They start realizing that scouting reports change fast, and defenders adjust even faster. Thanksgiving week is a reality check for the league's rising players. The NBA does not slow down just because your body wants to. And you ever notice how during packed weeks, 10, 12 games a night, the big stories all blur together? One star drops 40, another gets hurt, someone gets benched, someone gets hot, and by the next morning, there are 6 new headlines. But on Thanksgiving week, every little thing stands out. A coach shortens his rotation. That matters. A role player suddenly becomes more involved. That matters. A team tightens its spacing. That matters too. And a star starts taking fewer mid-range jumpers. That especially matters. When you only have a handful of games to watch, you really watch them. You catch the nuances you don't normally see when you're in the middle of the avalanche. And that's where the season's hidden transitions happen. The adjustments, the tweaks, the chemistry moments that don't make SportsCenter but absolutely show up in January. This is also one of the sneakiest rumor mill weeks of the year. People don't talk about it because the focus is on travel, family, and football, but behind the scenes, front offices get busy. Executives are accessible. Scouts are free. Coaches finally have time for longer conversations. Agents make their calls, and you start hearing the whispers. Nothing loud, nothing concrete, just little hints. We might need another wing. We don't love our backup 5 right now. Our spacing isn't where it needs to be. We're monitoring a couple names. If this losing streak continues, something's got to give. This is the week before the December 15th floodgates crack open, and smart teams start laying the groundwork early. You'll notice it if you watch closely. Teams experimenting with certain lineups, giving certain players more shine, or quietly phasing others out. It's not random. That's testing the waters before the market opens. And now this is my favorite part of the slow weeks, the micro trends. These are the little behaviors and rotations that tell you the truth about where a team is going. A second-year guard suddenly getting crunch time minutes. A bench big starting to show confidence with that mid-range jumper. A team calling fewer plays for their star because the supporting cast is starting to step up. A veteran taking fewer threes and attacking the basket more, correcting a bad habit. Coaches tightening rotations from 10 to 8 guys, telling you who they trust, and giving you a preview of potential playoff rotations. And in Thanksgiving week, when the box scores are cleaner and there's less noise, those small shifts, those are the things that jump out. So yeah, the NBA slows down a little bit this week. But for people like us, people who really watch the game, this week still matters, probably more than people realize. This is the reset point of the early season, the moment right before December hits, right before the in-season tournament knockouts, right before the trade market bubbles, right before contenders and pretenders split into their different lanes. Thanksgiving week is a breath, but it's not a break. It's a moment of clarity. And that leads me right into the story of the day, because while most of the league hovered in that slower rhythm, one rookie didn't take his foot off the gas at all. One rookie kept producing, kept climbing, kept proving, kept leading. And that's our guy, Kon Knueppel. Let's talk about him. Thanksgiving is about gratitude, right? So today I want to talk about something, or someone, I'm genuinely grateful for in this young NBA season. And that's a rookie who isn't built on hype, isn't built on mixtape culture, isn't built on highlight theatrics, but is absolutely built to last. Kon Knueppel. We're a month into the season, and this kid isn't just a good story, he's a real problem. Right now he's giving you 19.4 points, nearly 6 rebounds, and just under 3 assists per night, shooting just below 50% from the field. Rookies don't walk into the league this polished. Wings especially don't. But Kon, he's playing like he already knows the answer to the test. And it's not empty calories. This isn't a rookie who's getting fed garbage time buckets or hiding in second units. You look at the deeper numbers, and this is where it gets ridiculous. He's around 42% from 3 on real volume and flirting with 94% from the free throw line. That's elite efficiency for a veteran, let alone a 20-year-old learning how to operate in NBA traffic. And he's doing this in Charlotte. A young roster, a team still finding itself,
a team that doesn't have an all-NBA gravity magnet pulling defenders away. That matters. That context is important, because when you're the guy defenses are keen on, and you're still this efficient, that tells me you're not riding the wave. You are the wave. Among rookies with at least 10 games played, Knueppel is leading the entire class in scoring at 19.4 per game. Cooper Flagg, great rookie, but he's trailing by a full tier. And remember, Kon wasn't the number 1 pick. He wasn't even anointed number 2. He was the mid-lottery guy who people thought would be solid. Instead, he's taking the rookie ladder's top spot and built a house on it. And if you line him up against recent Rookie of the Year winners, Paolo, Barnes, LaMelo, Ja, Luka, he's sitting right in that exact production window, mid to high teen scoring, real rebounding, real playmaking, all on legitimate usage. But the kicker, most of them weren't this efficient as rookies. Kon's not surviving off of athleticism or highlight juice. He's thriving off of IQ, he's thriving off of timing, off of feel, and off of craft. Pre-draft, the scouting reports told us who he was. A brainy pick-and-roll operator, a craft and guile scorer, a guy who uses angles, footwork, strength, and pace instead of verticality, and now, these scouting reports are reading like a prophecy. When you watch him, you don't see a rookie trying to prove he belongs. You see someone who plays the game at his own tempo, someone who never rushes, never panics, never lets the defender dictate anything. His dribble is tight, his counters are polished, and his shot diet is mature. That's rare. So let me make the real Rookie of the Year case right now. Number 1, production. Leading all rookies in scoring. Efficient as hell, almost 20 a night as a wing. That's big time. Number 2, efficiency plus responsibility. He's running legit actions, operating in pick and roll, getting real touches late in games. Most rookies get hidden, Kon gets featured, and he still scores efficiently. Number 3, context. Charlotte is not an easy place for a rookie to thrive. There's no superstar craving doubles. There's no built-in cushion. Every shot he creates is self-made in a cluttered offense, and he's still putting up numbers. Number 4, consistency plus narrative. He's not a 2-game heater. He's been number 1 on the rookie ladder for consecutive weeks. He's already dropped 28 on Indiana, and he's getting real respect from national voices. That matters in Rookie of the Year discussions, whether people admit it or not. If the season ended today, if you forced me to write a Rookie of the Year ballot in pen, Kon Knueppel is my pick. And not because he's flashy, not because he's loud, but because he represents something we don't give enough gratitude for anymore. A return to basketball feel. A rookie who wins with skill, with pacing, with decision making, with presence. So yeah, this Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for Kon Knueppel, a rookie reminding us that the beautiful game still belongs to the ones who study it. Let's tighten it up a little. It's Thanksgiving, and look, not everything today needs to be box scores and Rookie of the Year ballots. So let's have some fun. Let's imagine the NBA not as a league, but as a family showing up to the Thanksgiving table. Because every family has roles, and every NBA team, they've got energy. They've got personality. And if they showed up to Thanksgiving dinner, here's exactly who they'd be. The Golden State Warriors, the uncle who always has a storyline. The Warriors are the uncle who pulls up with a smile, but you know it's been a dramatic year. He brings good stories, good memories, great highlights. But there's always something going on. Someone said something, someone got ejected, someone's feelings got hurt. And you love him, you always will. But the whole room is watching to see which version of him walks through the door. Los Angeles Lakers, the late arrival that turns heads. The Lakers, they're showing up late, fashionably late. And when they walk in, everybody will turn their head. They're not carrying any food, They're not contributing to anything. But the entrance? Oh, it's elite. They're the family member who doesn't bring a dish. They are the dish. Oklahoma City Thunder, the young cousins who suddenly grew up. The Thunder pull up, and every aunt and uncle goes, "Hold on, when did you get this grown?" They're taller, they're confident, they're not messing around anymore. They've been eating right, working out, and suddenly they're carrying themselves like they're ready for real responsibility at the table. That's OKC right now, young, ready, and polished. The New York Knicks, the uncle who says every year is their year. The Knicks are that one uncle who walks in every Thanksgiving talking about, no, this is our year. I can feel it. And sometimes he's not wrong. He's got a new job, a fresh haircut, a better attitude. He's been going to the gym. And every once in a while, the family buys in. You root for him, you laugh with him. You don't always trust him, but you love the energy. San Antonio Spurs, the calm cousin everyone loves. The Spurs are the quiet, polite cousin who brings a dish so good it shuts the room up. They don't make the noise, they don't show off, they don't put themselves at the center of the table, but every time they do show up, there's something refined about them, something special, something different. That's Wimby right now, calm, steady, unbothered, and somehow already the most interesting person in the room. Miami Heat, the relative who shows up ready to compete. The Heat show up in full playoff mode. They're wearing the team sweats like it's a uniform. They've been up since 6 a.m. running drills. They will critique your casserole like Spo critiques film. They looked at Thanksgiving and said, "Is this a game? Because we can compete." The Charlotte Hornets, the kid with real potential stealing the spotlight. And look, since we just talked about him, the Hornets are that family with the kid who suddenly has a growth spurt, and now everybody's looking at him like, okay, I see it. I see the future. Kon Knueppel walks in with that mix of confidence and calm like he's already been part of this adult table for years. And the rest of the family goes, yeah, this one's special. Phoenix Suns, the cousin who made up after an argument. The Suns walk in like a trio who swore last year they would never speak again, and now suddenly, they're acting like best friends. It's cordial, it's polite, it's definitely still awkward, but hey, it's the holidays. You'll figure it out. Boston Celtics, the well-prepared side of the family. The Celtics are overachievers of the family. They bring that perfect dish. They cut the turkey like they trained for it. They show up early. They leave late. They take the family photos seriously. That's the Celtics. All structure, all readiness, all business. And finally, the NBA itself. The host who keeps the tradition alive. The league is one relative who makes sure this whole thing happens. The one setting the table, timing the oven, keeping the peace, organizing the schedule, and making sure we all come back together, even when things get messy. And that's really what Thanksgiving is about, right? No matter how many teams, storylines, personalities, and problems, we all gather around the same table. So yeah, the NBA didn't give us a ton of games this week, but the personalities, the story, the energy, it never really stops. And after a slow week, after a short schedule, after a little breathing room, it actually makes the next stretch even better. Which brings us to the final part of today's show, and the heart of every episode. Before we close, I want to be real with you for a second. This episode is coming to you a little later than I had planned, and I'm sorry for that. Life got in the way. I pulled an all-nighter at work, grabbed groceries on the way home, cooked Thanksgiving dinner for the family, and somewhere in between the turkey, the timing, and the exhaustion, I passed out. And when I woke up, the day had already moved on without me. This wasn't the plan. I wanted to hit that morning window, I wanted to keep the streak alive, I wanted to show up on time like I always do. But sometimes life throws you one of those days where you give everything you have to the people around you, and there's just not enough left in the tank for the rest. But here's the thing. I didn't want to let the whole day slip away without showing up somehow. Even if it is late. Even if it's not perfect. Even if it's a day behind the schedule I fight so hard to keep. Because this show means something to me. This grind means something to me. And you mean something to me. So yeah, this is coming a day late and $1 short, but it is coming. And that's something I'm proud of. Because every creator, every parent, every working person knows the truth. Sometimes you walk through the fire. Sometimes you trip. Sometimes you fall asleep in the middle of the fourth quarter. But you get back up, you show up again, and you finish what you started. And before I wrap this up, a quick shout out to our friends at W Energy. From now until December 1st, they're giving the Round Ball Rants family 30% off with the code Round Ball Rants. That's their way of saying thanks. And honestly, today that message hits a little different. So let me end this where it matters. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for letting me be human, for letting this project be real, for giving me space to breathe and still welcoming me back to your table. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the community. And I'm grateful that even when life gets messy, we still find our way back to the bounce. And tomorrow, Black Friday, we're right back on schedule. I'm Vincent Cooper, and this was Round Ball Rants, where belief meets reality, and basketball isn't just basketball. It's therapy with a bounce.